All right, so we're trying to figure out if these angles or if these triangles are congruent and how we know that. So this first one looks like, as we go around, side, angle, side, or even if you go in the opposite direction, side, angle, side. But when we look at this next one, the angle is over here. It's not the included angle. So these are not, there's not enough information for them to be considered congruent. They don't match up. And remember that angle side side is not a way to prove triangle congruence. Even if you go side side, angle is still not a way. All right, here we've got a right triangle, and we've got the hypotenuse congruent and a pair of legs congruent. So we've got hypotenuse leg, choice E. This time we've got all three pairs of sides, and so those are congruent by side, side, side. All right, next we've got angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. And so it's, yes, they're congruent by angle, angle, side. If you go in the opposite direction, you see side, angle, angle. That's not a choice. So you should realize that it can't be side, angle, angle. So just try going in the opposite direction and see if it matches one of those choices. All right, here we've got some vertical angles that are congruent. And so now we can see side, angle, side, side, angle, side, side, angle, side, side, angle, side. Number 6, we've got the reflexive property at work here with this side that's shared in the two triangles. And so we can see angle, side, angle, angle, side, angle. So choice D. Number 7, JG matches up with RW. And so we can say that segment JG is congruent to segment RW. GO, that matches up with WI. JO, first and third position, RI, first and third position. All right, next to deal with the angles, angle J matches up with angle R. Angle G matches up with angle W. And then angle O is congruent to angle I. Identify the congruent triangles by completing the congruent statement. Okay, so we've got triangles that are congruent by side, side, side. Now we just got to go in the way that they correspond. Now, for me, it helps me a little bit if I match up, like put one congruent mark on the angle across from the one with one mark. Angle W is across from the side with 2 marks. Angle V. So it's just going to help me be real careful with the way that these triangles are congruent. All right, so V has 3 marks, so angle T has 3 marks. Angle W has 2 marks, angle U has 2 marks, angle X has 1 mark, angle S has 1 mark. So triangle VWX is congruent to triangle TUS. All right, here we have congruent sides. We need to figure out values of congruent triangles, I should say. We need to find the values of X and Y. So FD, first and third, matches up with AC, first and third. And so we can write the equation 7x minus 1.3 equals 19.7. And then we'll solve that two-step equation, add 1.3 to each side. And so we get 7x equal to 21, and then divide by 7. So x is 3, so we found x. Now we need to find y. Angle F matches up with angle C. So those have to be congruent. Well, angle C is not labeled with a degree, but we know two of the three angles in that one, so we can add the 70 and 80 together. We get 150. And then subtract that 150 from 180. That'll tell us the third angle. Now we can write 3y equals 30. Solve that. Get rid of multiplying by 3, divide by 3, and so we found y. Y is 10. All right, here we're trying to use side angle side. We have two pairs of sides. What else is needed? Well, it's the included angle, the angle in between or formed by the two sides. So we would also need to know that angle A is congruent to angle G. If we knew that, then we would have enough for side angle side. All right, we've got the reflexive property at work. AC is congruent to itself. And so we have a pair of sides, we have a pair of angles, so we need another pair of sides. We need to make that angle the included angle, and so the sides that we would need is AD must be congruent to BC. So that's for side angle side. For angle angle side, we have the non-included side. So the remaining angles that we need is angle B must be congruent to angle D. That would allow us to say angle angle side, angle angle side. Number 12, what additional information is needed to prove that these are congruent by angle, side, angle? Well, we need the included side, the side in between the two angles. So we would need to know that side AB is congruent to side NL. Side AB congruent to side NL. Or we can say segments. Once we have that, then we're able to say that these triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle. Angle, side, angle. This is an isosceles triangle, so we've got two sides that are congruent. They have these markings that tell us that they're congruent. So we can write 3x minus 6 equals 10. Solve that to get rid of minus 6, add 6. So we get 3x equal to 16. Divide by 3. 3 goes into 16 5 times. Multiply, you get 15. 1 remainder, so 5 and 1/3. Or you could say 5.3 repeating. So that's the value of x. Now we need to find the value of y. If we have an isosceles triangle, then the angles across from the congruent sides are congruent. So these two angles must be congruent. Angles in a triangle add up to 180. So one way to find it would be 2y plus 2y plus 124 equals 180. Combine those like terms, we get 4y plus 124 equals 180. Subtract 124 from each side. So 4y equals 56. Divide by 4. And so y is equal to 14. So we found x, we found y. Alright, 14, we've gotten an isosceles triangle, so all these angles are congruent and they're all 60 degrees. So the measure of angle 1 is 60. This angle and angle 2 are supplementary, they add up to 180. So we can do 180 minus 60 And so we get the measure of angle 2 equal to 120 degrees. To find angle 3, you could use the fact that you've got parallel lines cut by a transversal, and so alternate interior are congruent, to say that that must be the same as this angle here. Or you could do supplementary with angle 2, which we know now is 120, so subtract 120 from 180 and you get 60. So either alternate interior angles or consecutive interior or same side interior, which are supplementary. So the measure of angle 3 is 60 degrees. All right, is segment AD congruent to segment CD? Well, let's see, we've got the reflexive property at work, and if this is a right angle, then this is a right angle over here. And so we've got two right triangles. We have the hypotenuses congruent, and because of the reflexive property, we have this leg that's the pair of legs that's congruent. And so we can say that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD by hypotenuse leg. Once you say those triangles are congruent, the corresponding parts are congruent, and AD corresponds to CD, so we know those are indeed congruent. And that's by CP/CTC. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So, yes, those segments are congruent by all the reasoning that we just stated. 16, we're trying to complete a proof. We've got some given information. Notice these angles here. Those are congruent because vertical angles are congruent. So we can say angle ACB is congruent to angle DCE. And once you say that, now we have enough for angle, side angle, angle, side angle. So hopefully this review will help you better prepare for the test. Have a great day.